Buccaneer fans, you're looking live at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome as we count down to the Bucs and the New Orleans Saints. I'm TJ Reeves, and this is our analyst on the Buccaneers Radio Network, Dave Moore. Scott Smith, who normally is the stalwart of this segment, playing hurt today, under the weather, doesn't have much voice. So we know a thing or two about this situation, and we have voices. So they enlisted us to come help on Buccaneers.com. So, Dave, for our audience here that's on the internet right now, obviously, as we're talking right now, it looks as if the Atlanta Falcons are giving Carolina all they can handle. If they win, the Saints have even more motivation for this game today. They can potentially win the division, get a bye, even get a week off if things were to hold up. So I guess the first thing to you is, what's the key for the Buccaneers trying to counteract a Saints team that is clearly going to be amped up?
Well, I think the Bucs need to come out and start fast. Certain things that you're going to have to deal with. Crowd noise is going to be a big one. If the Bucs can come out and start quickly and get a jump on New Orleans, it's going to give them a chance to quiet the crowd down. And, of course, you have to defend Jimmy Graham, Drew Brees, Sproles, and the tough running game, really, of the New Orleans Saints. So it's going to be a challenge to come in here, especially after the seasons the Bucs have had and have success. But there's nothing better than trying to knock off a division opponent. All
right, if Buccaneer fans have not seen this here in the last little while, it is official that Mark Barron and Dakota Watson are inactive. Obviously not able to play. Neither one was really able to practice at all this week. So with that linebacker and that safety out of there, you would figure that Jimmy Graham, who's already a big part of the game plan, they got to be licking their chops. So the question back to you, for the Buccaneer defense, how do they counteract if New Orleans tries to attack with Jimmy Graham without those two guys on the Buc D?
Well, you try to mix up coverages. You don't want to be very predictable. I would imagine New Orleans is going to try to run the football and use play actions. You have some backup linebackers. You have Adam Hayward, who had a lot of time this year, and Tandy as well, but these guys are not the mainstay starters. So they're going to run the football, try to get them to bite on some play actions to take some opportunities down the field to Jimmy Graham, and then obviously outside, Tandy's going to have to try to play over top of Colston and Lance Moore and Stills, who's really become a weapon this year. So they have their hands full.
How much stock do you put in a game that was played 15 weeks ago? It was week 2. The Buc defense got to Drew Brees, got some interceptions, but I mean, can you put a lot of stock in a game that was essentially 4 months ago for either one of these teams?
No, a lot changes. Game plans change because of personnel. When I was putting together the depth chart, they've had a lot of changes just like we have. So the Bucs, I think, defensively have done a better job as the season's gone on of putting pressure on quarterbacks. I think that's going to be a big key today, to not let Drew Brees sit in the pocket. If you make him move, he's going to give you opportunities to get interceptions, but you have to be able to get him off of his spot and get as many hits on him as you can.
All right, offensively for the Buccaneers, it's obvious they want to try to run the football. Now, last week in St. Louis, 85-yard drive early on in the game, took the crowd out of the game, got a touchdown. That's best case scenario. How do the Buccaneers go about successfully running, moving the ball, and trying to limit the crowd impact on this game, Dave?
Well, I think patience. They're going to have to run the football, and if you're not getting those 4 yards a clip, you can't get away from it. You need to slow the game down against the New Orleans Saints. You need to stay with the run game, use play actions, and Glennon's going to have to be efficient when he throws the football. Protection is key. The Bucs gave up 7 sacks last week in a noisy environment like this one is, so protection is going to be key for that offensive line.
And if you're just joining us, we're live here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome on Buccaneers.com. TJ Reeves, Dave Moore, the Buccaneers Radio Network. We are pinch hitting for Scott Smith. Scott, by the way, will still be tweeting, will still be posting stories, etc. So keep it locked in there through social media, whatnot. Mike Glennon, final chance to get a look at him in 2013. I am concerned he has cumulatively taken a lot of hits, not just sacks, but a lot of hits the last month or so of the season. Pass protection is going to be a key, but part of that is he can help himself out a little bit, get rid of the football some too, right?
For young quarterbacks, I'm not worried about him taking the hits. He seems like he's mentally tough. He's a guy that studies, works hard. But for him, he has to know where his check down is every time he breaks a huddle on a pass. If the key receiver is not open and he goes through his progression, and if it's not there, get rid of the football. Know where your back is, checking out of the backfield, your tight end, somebody just to get rid of that football. Last week he held on to it a little long at times, knowing he was going to be pressured. I think this week he's got to do a more efficient job of getting rid of the football when he needs to.
All right, one more for you, because you played in these things, and obviously I did not. When you're at the end of the year, and in the Bucs case, you only have the motivation of trying to win and mess it up for the other team. You've been in that situation before. What is your approach as a player as we come towards game time, we come to the end of the regular season?
Well, you got to remember, you're going into the off season now, so you want to finish on a high note. You want to have that good taste in your mouth when you leave, because you have all offseason to think about that last performance, and these guys are building their resume. Every time you're not winning football games, there is turnover. They're looking for answers, and you want to make sure that that answer isn't in your position. So individually, the players are going to play as hard as they can. Again, you're playing a division opponent, and you also want to have a good momentum going into the offseason to start getting ready for next year.
You did a great job. All right, I'm checking here on the text message because Scott Smith sent me on the pick-to-click that he likes Vincent Jackson on the offensive side of the ball. We usually do the pick-to-click thing, Dave Moore. So I'm going to go defensive side of the ball. And a guy that got snubbed for that Pro Bowl, Levante David, I know that he's taking it well, saying the right things, taking the high road, but I like Levante David to have a big day today. He's had sacks, he's had interceptions. I could see one or both of those things today against Drew Brees and company. So Scott will go with Vincent Jackson, pick to click for the offense. I'll go Levante David one last time. Listen, great job. I know we're getting ready to call the game on the radio. I know you want to wish a Happy New Year to all the Buc fans that are watching on Buccaneers.com.
Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for being with us here from the Superdome. Keep it tuned to Buccaneers.com and also the Buccaneers Radio Network. Bucs and Saints coming up.